phone records of all of us in this room reside in an NSA database. I've said repeatedly, just because we have the ability to collect huge amounts of data does not mean that we should be doing so.
Strong words this morning as members of the Senate Judiciary Committee tried to understand just how the National Security Agency could know so much about private citizens and still go unchecked by those elected to represent us.
The government is already collecting data on millions of innocent Americans on a daily basis based on a secret legal interpretation of a statute that does not, in its face, appear to authorize this kind of bulk collection. So what's going to be next? When's enough is enough.
Just 10 minutes prior to this moment in the hearing, Glenn Greenwald, the Guardian journalist who brought the world the scoops about U.S. government surveillance programs leaked by Edward Snowden, broke another story. This one with the catchy headline, NSA tool collects nearly everything a user does on the internet. It's called XKeyscore.
The key to XKeyscore is that it's a program used by the NSA to collect all internet activity, everything they can collect, store it, and then allow their analysts, low-level analysts with access to terminals, to search whatever it is they want and find out what your emails say, what internet sites you visited, what Google search terms you've entered, and pretty much anything else that you do on the internet. It's an all-purpose spying device that really has no real limits.
XKeyscore, it seems, may be the type of tool Director of National Intelligence James Clapper tried to rub away the memory of during his congressional testimony in March.
If you could give me a yes or no answer to the question, does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans?
No, sir.
It does not.
Not wittingly.
That, as Clapper later admitted, was not true.
Lying to the Senate is every bit as much of a crime and a felony as anything Mr. Snowden is accused of doing. And so we ought to think about as a nation whether or not we're comfortable allowing our highest political officials to break the law and not only not be prosecuted, but not lose their job.
Trying to play catch-up and transparency, Clapper's office today released its own set of stunning documents. Among them, a previously classified congressional briefing paper outlining the Patriot Act provision allowing for an early warning system involving logging all the domestic emails and phone conversations of Americans. With this attempted assurance, only a tiny fraction of such records are ever viewed by NSA intelligence analysts. But, and here's where Greenwald's story today is really important, the question is not whether they are viewed as an official policy, but whether they can be. Snowden told Greenwald, yes.
Well, I, sitting at my desk, certainly had the authorities to wiretap anyone.
Though members and supporters of the U.S. national security apparatus disputed that.
There's no question but that Edward Snowden has been completely vindicated by the documents and by the disclosures as a completely honest whistleblower, one of the most significant whistleblowers in American history.
Who double-checked Mr. Snowden?
Well, there are checks at multiple levels. There are checks in terms of what an individual might be doing at any moment in time. They
obviously failed.
In this case, I think we can say that they failed, but we don't yet know where.
The NSA did issue a statement in response to the Guardian's report on XKeyscore. I want to read part of it. Quote, "The implication that NSA's collection is arbitrary and unconstrained is false. NSA's activities are focused and specifically deployed against and only against legitimate foreign intelligence targets in response to requirements that our leaders need for information necessary to protect our nation and its interests."